Thank you. Good morning. It is now 9 o'clock a.m. and I'll call the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans, May 20th, 2026 Board of Directors meeting to order. Special counsel, please call the roll.
Designee Steve Nelson.
Present.
Honorable Jason Hughes. Director Kennedy.
Here.
Director Cole.
Here.
Director Stewart.
Here.
Director Thomas.
Here.
Director Anthrop.
Here.
Director Greenwich.
Here.
Director Pacho.
Here.
Director Scruggs.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Before we proceed with the agenda, I have the honor of doing something that's really exciting. And, sitting in this chair doesn't get too many extra benefits, but I'm counting this as the best one to date. And I know my words are going to be echoed by others, but we have an award to honor and present to Director Joe Pacho, who is a community servant icon in this city, and really a model for service, civic engagement and service across the country. And I know that we could literally probably spend a day honoring you and talking about all the things you've done from your service to this country to this moment today, but this is a small token of appreciation for what we think of you, how we salute you, and how we stand, honestly in your shadow of service to our community. And so, Mr. Joe, this is for you. Let you
Oh, thank you so
take
much.
a look and at the craftsmanship, folks.
Ooh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Wonderful.
Well deserved.
It's just a few words. It's been I really feel this has been a job in the sense of service. That's what I've always done. And I just appreciated the 12 years. I appreciate the 12 years I've been able to serve. It's really been rewarding for me. It's been challenging at times, but through it all, I think some good work has been done. And I appreciate all of you. And I guess I'll be seeing you all by and by.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. First item for business, as always, if we can have a motion to approve the minutes for last meeting of April 22nd, 2026 Board of Directors meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Director Thomas, second by Director Stewart. Any questions? None. All in favor? Aye. Any public comment on the minutes?
No public comments, Chair.
Thank you very much. Motion carries. We've approved the minutes from our last meeting. And next, we'll go right into committee reports. I will start with the Pension Committee report. The Pension Committee met on May 12th, 2026 in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 9 a.m. Present were myself, Director Pacho, Trustee Shine, Trustee Makbul, Trustee Johnsey. Absent were Director Anthrop, Director Thomas, and Trustee Joseph. The first presentation item was the April 2026 Executive Summary Investment Report for the Employees Retirement System of the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans by Kwaku Obed of Marquette and Associates. The executive summary presentation began with an overview of market trends for April 2026. Kwaku Obed described how escalations in the Middle East are impacting market stability. However, given the utility's broader portfolio, there appears to be good diversity based on asset allocation. Mr. Obed stated April proved to be a relatively positive period for the markets. Looking back, there have been various factors contributing to market volatility. The escalation of conflict in Iran in February led to a market decline Subsequently, energy prices rose over several weeks and interest rates increased, resulting in heightened market volatility due to mixed economic signals triggered by rising gas and commodity prices. March and late February were challenging months, however. April saw a market rebound. As we entered April, a new Federal Reserve chair is expected to adopt a more accommodative stance regarding interest rates. This development has allowed fixed income assets to perform relatively well. Overall, April was a favorable month for the markets, with both domestic and international equities showing positive performance, along with fixed income assets. This stands in contrast to discussions held previously regarding anticipated returns. This experience underscores the importance of considering the right asset classes and ensuring proper diversification within portfolios, including sectors like infrastructure and potentially real estate. The second presentation was a recommendation for infrastructure asset class, also by Kwaku Obed of Marquette and Associates. Mr. Obed recommended Brookfield and IFM for the infrastructure asset class, noting that the two companies complement each other effectively and have numerous clients who use both managers. Therefore, from Marquette's perspective, the recommendation would be to pursue a 50-50 allocation between IFM and Brookfield. Although Macquarie is a capable manager, the focus should be on ensuring the funds operate effectively within the portfolio, which further supports the recommendation. There was one action item, Resolution R066-2026, authorization of manager for the designated asset class of private infrastructure. That was moved and seconded, and there were information items received by the committee, no public comment. Therefore, being no further business, that committee meeting was adjourned at approximately 9:44 a.m. Next, we have, I will go over the the joint committee meeting of the Finance and Administration, I'm sorry.
On your committee report. Yeah,
Oh, I have to do it individually? Thanks.
Well, no, yeah. you
Yeah,
have to do it.
okay. So with the pension committee report being read, may I have a motion to approve that report?
So move.
Moved by Director Pacho, second by Director Thomas. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed, any abstentions? Thank you. We've accepted the pension committee report. Before I get ahead of myself. So now I'll go into this joint committee report. There was the Finance and Administration Committee and the Strategic Planning Committee met on Wednesday, May 13th, 2026 in the Executive Boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 9:00 a.m. Present were myself, Directors Pacho, Director Scruggs, Director Greenwich, Director Antrip, Director Cole, Deputy CAO, Mayor's Designee Steve Nelson. Absent was Director Thomas. The first presentation item was the executive summary report by our CFO, Gray Lewis, with the financial overview. Mr. Lewis reported on preliminary March financials and provided an update on the Oracle system conversion project, noting that additional training is in progress and the support from the implementation firm will continue through June. The March year-to-date financial information was compiled using data from the new system along with some estimated expenses, as the team is adapting to the new reporting and month-end Oracle process. Mr. Lewis provided an update on the audit process, which is progressing well with a deadline set for June. The auditors are currently completing the final phases of testing and will begin preparing the annual report in the coming weeks. Under revenue, water and sewer operating revenues for March year-to-date were $68.1 million, which is $1.4 million below budget. Drainage taxes reported through March were $56.2 million, influenced by the tax deadline. Reported expenses were lower than budget and were affected by the financial system conversion and the transition to a new accounting system with ongoing monitoring in place. Under cash on hand, cash collections for water and sewer bills reached $24.3 million in March and $23.1 million in April, demonstrating an improvement compared to the initial 2 months of 2026 and historical averages. This trend aligns with increased orders for service disconnects, the implementation of smart metering billing over an extended duration, and ongoing efforts to promote payment plans through Promise Pay. As of March 31, days cash on hand stood at 150 for water and 174 for sewer, reflecting an increase from the previous month and exceeding the 90-day target. Under minor drainage and joint infrastructure, Mr. Lewis reported on minor drainage revenue for 2025, indicating $4.6 million has been received through March, which includes the initial installment of traffic camera revenue. In relation to joint infrastructure payments to DPW, the utility paid a total of $9.1 million in March and April and continues to hold weekly meetings with DPW and the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness to discuss reimbursement processes. Under customer service, Keith James, customer service manager, reported on customer service metrics, noting a significant increase in customer service activity following major water sewer main breaks. As reflected in March metrics and heightened activity across all customer channels, the committee asked about staffing levels. Mr. James advised that 4 new hires are being onboarded in efforts to continue to better align staffing needs with the strategic goals for customer service. The total number of customer interactions for March was 30,218 compared to 22,624 in February. The Water Distribution System Immediate Action Plan funding by CFO Gray Lewis. Mr. Lewis provided an update on the financial funding for the Immediate Action Plan regarding transmission main breaks. Recently, the Infrastructure Advisory Board approved the allocation of $4 million for necessary capital repairs. In the midterm, there are 4 transmission main projects that were previously identified for the JIRR program, but were put on hold due to funding issues, which the utility is currently discussing with the city, pending a FEMA extension to December of 2028. In the long term, costs significantly exceed available resources, prompting the exploration of a multifaceted approach involving partnerships at the federal, state, and local levels through a working group. There is a need for further investigation into grant funding and the expansion of the rate base to include the tourism industry, and management will continue to engage with city leadership and the delegation to convey the urgency of these matters. Under the stormwater fee update and rate study recommendation, Jamie Parker, SWBNO's Chief of Staff, and Henrietta Locklear, Senior Vice President of Raftellus Financial Consultants, provided an update on the development of a stormwater fee. Ms. Parker noted that the latest phase of this work began in the year 2022. Since that time, the utility has continued to develop and refine the fee structure, leading to the sharing of a stormwater fee proposal with the city's administration in February of 2026. The proposal recommends using both drainage taxes and a stormwater fee to support the drainage system. Ms. Locklear noted that a financial analysis of the drainage system determined a roughly $50 million annual shortfall, resulting in deferred investments and unmet system needs. The proposal recommended consolidating the utility's 3 drainage taxes into a single tax. It also recommended implementing a stormwater fee based on the equivalent residential unit, ERU, approach. Single-family residential properties would be classified by tiers based on size, small, typical, and large, while other properties would be charged on a per ERU basis based on measuring impervious area. Ms. Locklear shared that obtaining impervious area on all properties throughout the city is nearly complete. Ms. Locklear also shared that the proposal sought to incorporate an offset where the amount paid in drainage property taxes could offset the stormwater fee. The offset and its implementation are ongoing topics of discussion among the utility, the administration, and the city council. Ms. Parker noted that utility staff continues to meet with and collaborate with the administration and council on this initiative. Under the City of New Orleans parcel fee, Stephen Nelson, the city's Deputy CAO of Infrastructure and Director of Public Works, and Leo John Arnett, the city's Director of Policy and Research, shared the mayor's vision for a parcel fee. The request was to explore a street maintenance parcel fee to generate additional revenue for streets, traffic lights, and subsurface work, which would include repairs to water and sewer lines. The request was for Raftellus, the utility's financial consultant, to conduct the necessary analysis and develop the parcel fee. The committee raised questions regarding the scope of work, noting that the request to explore this type of parcel fee would be for infrastructure that falls outside of the purview of the utility. Mr. Nelson shared that the request is part of the administration's plan to explore new flexible options to fund critical infrastructure needs. We had two action items, Resolution R 2026, authorization of amendment number 3 for professional services for update to drainage system funding and feasibility analysis between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Raftellus Financial Consultants Incorporated. That was moved and approved. Resolution R 2026, authorization of amendment number 4 for professional services for the feasibility analysis and development of a parcel fee between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Raftellus Incorporated. That motion did not carry. Next, we have the General Superintendent's report, and there was a contract award, Resolution R 2026, award of contract 2025 SWB 18 for skilled and unskilled labor for maintenance between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Abacus Service Corporation. That was moved and carried. Contract amendments, Resolution R 2026, authorization of Amendment 1 to the agreement between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Xylem Dewatering Solutions Incorporated, DBA Watchwater Services for leak detection and fire flow testing within Orleans Parish. Resolution R 2026, authorization of Amendment number 8 to the agreement between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and NY Associates Incorporated for design and engineering services for the waterline replacement program. Resolution R 2026, authorization of Amendment number 10 to the agreement between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Mott McDonald LLC for design and engineering services for the waterline replacement program. Resolution R 2026, authorization of Amendment number 3 for contract 30264, cleaning and CCTV inspection and of sanitary sewer mains at various sites within Orleans Parish between the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Compliance Enviro Systems LLC. These amendments were moved and carried. Contract change orders by ratification. Resolution R 2026, ratification of change order number 8 for contract 1420, Power Complex Phase 1, equipment installation and commissioning between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Frischard Barnes, a joint venture. Resolution R 2026, ratification of change order number 3 for contract 2164, water main line replacements and extension at various locations throughout Orleans Parish between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Wallace C. Drennan Incorporated. Resolution R 2026, ratification of change order number 5 for contract 30232, Carrollton Basin number 3, sewer rehabilitation between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and BLD Services LLC. Resolution R 2026, ratification of change order number 6 for contract 30235, Carrollton Basin number 5, sewer water rehabilitation between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and BLD Services LLC. Resolution R 2026, ratification of change order number 4 for contract 30261, Carrollton Basin number 20, sewer rehabilitation between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Hard Rock Construction LLC. These change orders were moved and seconded, passed, and then we had final acceptances. Resolution R 2026, authorization of final acceptance of contract 30232, Carrollton Basin number 3, sewer rehabilitation between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and BLD Services LLC. Resolution R 2026, authorization of final acceptance of contract 30252, Carrollton Basin number 11, sewer rehabilitation between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and BLD Services LLC. Resolution R 2026, authorization of final acceptance of contract 30256, Carrollton Basin number 15, sewer rehabilitation between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Hard Rock Construction LLC. Resolution R 2026, authorization of final acceptance for contract 30260, Carrollton Basin number 19, sewer rehabilitation between Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans and Hard Rock Construction LLC. These final acceptances were moved and seconded, and they all carried. There were 4 information items, no public comment, being no further business. The joint committee meeting between Finance and Administration and Strategic Planning Committees adjourned at approximately 10:53 a.m. With that being read, may I have a motion to approve said meeting committee report from May 13th, 2026 of Finance, Administration, and Strategic Planning Committees?
So moved.
Moved by Director Scruggs.
I do have one question
Yes.
on that packet. I noticed,
Sure.
Resolution R 046/2026 for Mont McDonald had a 0% participation on the DBE. I understand that may be a clerical error. Did we get a revised number on that participation?
I believe it, I will confirm that, but they do have more than 0, and that should be in the updated packet, so
Okay.
that we will provide that. Yep.
That was my only question.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. With that update on the way, again, may I have a motion? I had a motion by Director Scruggs. Did I have a second?
Second.
Second by Director Thomas. Any other additional questions? Comments? All right. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Any public comment on that?
No public comment, Chair.
Thank you. All right. Any abstentions? Any? Okay. All right. So we have accepted, that moves, and we have accepted the committee, the joint committee report for Finance, Administration, and Strategic Planning. Next, we will have Governance Committee report with Director Scruggs.
All right, so I have 2 reports for you. If you recall, the last board meeting, our April 20th meeting report was still pending, and so I have that one for you first, and then we'll go to the May 13th report. So on April 20th, 2026, the Governance Committee met. That was a Monday here in the Executive Boardroom at approximately 1:07. Members present, myself, Director Cole, as Vice Chair, Director Kennedy, and also Attorney Adam Swansek, the designee for Mayor Moreno for that meeting. Members not present, Director Thomas. Non-members present, Director Pacho, Director Greenidge, and Council Member Jason Hughes. There was one discussion item added in. I presented a motion to add a discussion item, House Bill number 573, as amended, and substitute House Bill number 1243 to the agenda. Director Kennedy moved, Director Cole seconded. The discussion item was added to the agenda by unanimous vote. Then I presented a motion to amend the language of an executive session item to add clarifying language to reflect that the committee seeks legal advice from special counsel regarding potential litigation exposure, regulatory risk, and legal implications regarding House Bill number 573 as amended, and substitute House Bill number 1243. Director Cole moved, Director Kennedy seconded. The motion failed. Designee Swansek questioned whether the executive session description provided sufficient specificity under the open meetings law. Director Scruggs, myself, noted that the proposed clarification was intended to reflect the committee's desire to obtain legal guidance from special counsel regarding potential litigation exposure, regulatory risk, and legal implications associated with House Bill number 573 as amended, and substitute Bill House number 1243. Councilmember Jason Hughes similarly raised concern regarding the description of the executive session item and public understanding of the purpose of the proposed executive session. Then we went on to the evaluation process for our executive leadership. I provided an overview of next steps for the evaluation process of executive leadership, including a discussion of performance goals and metrics at the April Board of Directors meeting. Given other pressing issues currently being managed by the executive leadership, Director Scruggs suggested giving staff additional time to prepare for those discussions. I presented a motion to defer the discussion of executive leadership goals and metrics. Director Cole moved and Director Kennedy seconded. The motion carried. We went on to our discussion of House Bill number 573 as amended, and substitute House Bill number 1243. Therein Levi Paquette, Assistant Special Counsel, provided an overview of the House Bill 1243 and its potential impact on the utility. Revised statutes that were noted included LARS 33407-4071A, 33407-2A, 33407-2B1, 33407-2B2, 33407-4, 3341159.2A1, 3344159.2A2, and 3344159.2B1. Committee members raised various questions regarding HB 1243, including the intent of the legislation, drainage system responsibilities, governing aspects of the utility, bond implications, financing obligations, potential impacts to pensioners and active employees, and whether chain of command will change under emergency circumstances. Councilmember Hughes stated that the legislation is not intended to impact the utility's borrowing capacity or drainage responsibilities, but will give the city council authority to make changes that could affect the utility in the future. Designee Swansek noted that the overall desire of the legislation is to place SWEPNO matters in the hands of local governance, i.e. city council, instead of the state legislature. A summary of the committee's discussion regarding substitute House Bill 1243, the substitute legislation associated with House Bill 573 as amended, including questions raised and responses regarding the proposed legislation and its potential impacts to the utility, is attached to these minutes for reference purposes. Executive session. Pursuant to RS 4219, 4217A2, 4217A11, and Louisiana CE Article 506, the Governance Committee of Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans will discuss the 2026 regular session of the Louisiana Legislature, including House Bill 573 as amended and substitute House Bill number 1243. I advise of a need to enter executive session to obtain guidance from special counsel, given the expediency of the legislative session. Designee Swansek raised concerns again regarding entering executive session, but advised that committee members could be briefed individually by special counsel. SWEPNO special counsel advised that the executive session item, as noticed on the agenda, could be discussed by the committee and fell within the scope of attorney-client privilege and the cited open meeting law exceptions. I presented a motion to enter executive session. Director Kennedy moved. It was seconded by Director Cole. The motion failed. The information item, Louisiana House of Representatives Substitute Bill 1243, was received. There were no public comments, and there being no further business before the committee, I made a motion to adjourn. It was moved and seconded by Directors Kennedy and Cole respectively. The motion carried, and we ended the meeting at 2:14 p.m.
Thank you very much. May we have a motion to approve the Governance Committee report from April 20th, 2026? I'm sorry, I jumped. All right, moved by Director Thomas. Second. Second by Director Stewart. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? All right, we have accepted the April 20th report. And now may we have a motion to approve the May 13th report?
Do you want me to go over it?
Yeah, we got it. Sorry.
Sorry, I'll try to move fast. Okay, so May 13th, the Governance Committee met on Wednesday, May 13th, in this room at approximately 11:03 a.m. Members present, myself as chair, Director Cole as vice chair, Director Kennedy and Director Thomas. Non-members present, Director Greenidge, Director Pacho, and Director Antrim. Before the moving discussion items, I ask for a motion to move the legislative session to the first item on the agenda, which was moved and seconded by Directors Thomas and Director Kennedy respectively. The motion carried unanimously. Okay, so 2026 legislative session by our Chief of Staff, Jamie Parker. Ms. Parker shared updates on the 2026 legislative session, including House Bill 441, Civil Service, House Bill 1273, Governance and Other Issues, and House Bill 893, Procurement, all of which passed the House of Representatives and are now awaiting approval by the Senate. An update was also shared on House Bill 228, Constitutional Amendment, and Senate Bill 268, Statute, which relate to the Utilities Lead Service Line Program. Both passed the Senate and are awaiting approval from the House. During the committee's discussion, Executive Director Heyman shared comments regarding the impact of House Bill 1243 on employees. He noted that the bill's uncertainty is raising concerns amongst employees about positions, pay, and pensions. He further noted that decisions made about the future of the utility should keep employees and employee retention in mind, and expressed a desire for the utility to participate in any discussions about the utility's future, whether that is representation at staff or director level. Following the discussions, I called for a motion that staff provide ongoing periodic updates to the Governance Committee regarding legislation, policy initiatives, and governance-related developments with potential operational or governance implications for the utility. The goal is to have this as a standing agenda item moving forward. Director Thomas moved, Director Kennedy second, the motion carried. I also called for a motion for special counsel and executive leadership to provide the committee with an assessment of the operational, governance, emergency management, and implementation implications associated with pending governance legislation, including any immediate changes, areas of ambiguity, operational continuity risk, and hurricane season preparedness considerations. Director Anthrop noted that the city of Portland has undergone a complex multi-year effort to merge their water and wastewater units together and encourage staff to use this as a potential model. Director Thomas moved, Director Cole seconded, the motion carried. Okay, governance alignment and related processes from our retreat. The committee reviewed key work streams that were developed from the board retreat, including governance framework modernization, board performance and development, and continuity and governance transition preparedness, as reflected in detail in the presentation slide. The committee also discussed next steps following the retreat, including transition preparedness, which is immediate, a governance work plan for summer 2026, and communications deep dive in summer 2026. Retreat planning for fall 2026, and succession planning, which is currently in progress and ongoing. The discussion noted that executive compensation may need to have a dedicated committee. The committee also discussed revisiting the board's schedule to allow for more time in between committee meetings and the regular monthly meetings of the full board. It was also noted that more time to review materials would be helpful for directors in preparation for meetings. Moving forward, the committee agreed that the communications component will be handled by either the strategic planning or operations committee. I called for a motion for staff, special counsel, and appropriate advisors to support the development and implementation planning related to the governance retreat action items, including the governance framework modernization workstream, the board performance and development workstream, and the continuity and governance transition preparedness workstream. The process envisioned by the committee is for staff to develop a work plan to implement these work streams, engage with directors individually, bring the plans back to the committee, and then eventually present recommendations to the full board. Director Kennedy moved, Director Cole seconded, the motion carried. All right, we're almost there. Executive Key Performance Indicators, or KPI, development and alignment. The committee continued its work on establishing key performance indicators for executive positions. The intention is to establish clear alignment around priorities, measurable outcomes that indicate success and forward movement, operational leadership and clarity, and organizational objectives. Collaboration alignment between executives and the committee was noted to be expected and appropriate. The executive director, interim general superintendent, and interim special counsel shared their goals and KPIs. The committee provided feedback that, when possible, KPIs should be SMART, meaning specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, and linked to some measure of progress. The committee provided feedback to the executives as the group continues to work towards alignment. Director Scruggs, myself, called for a motion to adopt the goals and KPIs as prepared by executive staff, subject to incorporating the feedback and comments provided by directors, and for the revised goals and KPIs to be presented at the full board for adoption at this meeting. Director Cole moved, Director Kennedy seconded, and the motion carried. All right, moving on to executive succession planning. Draft succession plans for the executive director, general superintendent, interim general superintendent for the record, and interim special counsel positions were shared. Actually, let me take that back. Succession plans for the executive director, general superintendent, and special counsel positions were shared with the committee. Additional discussion revealed that the committee is desiring one emergency succession plan playbook that covers the top layer of the organization if an executive appointed by the board is unable to serve due to an unforeseen event. The committee also asked the executives to continue developing and refining their planned succession protocols, which include transition planning and knowledge transfers for their respective functions and departments as well. The committee suggested that the executives provide a progress update to the board at the next regular board meeting and to request more time to complete those plans if necessary. All right, appointment of the general superintendent, compensation and committee recommendation. The committee noted significant turnover in executive positions in past years and discussed its executive compensation and continuity framework which includes base compensation, professional development support, continuity and transition stability provisions, KPI-linked compensation adjustment opportunities, and an optional retirement allocation mechanism, as reflected in detail on the presentation slide. Swebno CAO, David Callahan, provided the existing compensation structure and related information regarding the interim general superintendent, as the salary for this position must be set by the board. Then we moved to enter executive session. Director Kennedy moved, Director Thomas seconded. The motion carried. Pursuant to LARS 4217A1, the Governance Committee of the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans will meet in executive session to discuss the character, professional competence, and fitness of its interim general superintendent. I presented a motion to exit executive session after we concluded. Director Thomas moved, Director Kennedy seconded, the motion carried. I then moved to recommend the appointment of the interim general superintendent to general superintendent, subject to board approval and finalization of employment terms. Director Kennedy moved, Director Cole seconded, the motion carried. I then moved to recommend approval of a compensation and employment framework for the general superintendent position, incorporating base compensation, KPI-linked evaluation and compensation methodology, optional retirement allocation mechanisms related to earned compensation adjustments, continuity and transition planning provisions, and executive development support considerations subject to final legal review and board approval. Director Kennedy moved, Director Thomas seconded, the motion carried. There was no public comment, and being no further business before the committee that day, I made a motion to adjourn. Director Cole and Director Thomas moved and seconded respectively. The motion carried, and the meeting adjourned at 1:43 p.m.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve the May 13th, 2026 Governance Committee report?
So moved.
Moved by Director Thomas,
Second.
second by Director Greenwich. Any questions?
Just to note the adjustments that I read out that need to be made.
As read.
Right.
All right, any additional questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Thank you. We have, motion carries. We've accepted the May 13th Governance Committee report. And now we are ready for our Executive Director's report. Mr. Randy Heyman, our Executive Director.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I have some truly important information to share with you. The grades are out, and the Louisiana Department of Health has given the Algiers water plant an A. Now, we've maintained the grade of A since 2024, but the good news is that the Carrollton water plant has improved from a C in 2024 to a B in 2026. Upgrades completed at the Sycamore Filter Gallery. These grades are issued annually to all water systems in the state on May 1st based on prior year performance. The categories include infrastructure component as well as financial stability and customer complaint. And I think this is representative of some of the good hard work that our employees are doing to improve the system daily. Next, an update on the industrial canal. Removal of debris around the pipe and development of a repair plan is underway. Recreational advisories have been lifted. We continue to work with our partners on the industrial canal sewer force main break, that being the city, LDH, and LDEQ, and the federal partners. Repairs to a sewer force main are intricate and complex, and we continue to move forward with developing and implementing a repair plan. We anticipate the repairs will take several months to complete. It is important to note that at this time, there are no environmental concerns posing a risk to the public. At the Sewage and Water Board, we are obligated to keep our customers well informed. And in that spirit, we're out in the community. We're participating in 15 community events during Q1 of 2026. The Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans, we're having water talks, a community conversation, launching this summer 2026. Multiple meeting dates and locations to service each district to be announced. So there's more information to come. Stay tuned. And we will be at a gym, a church, a facility near you and your communities.
Great.
we have Dwyer Canal. This image highlights action taken on our initial meeting with residents. I mean to say, since our initial meeting with residents. Several issues were identified, including defects in underground sewer lines, blockages within sewer lines, illicit discharges, and problems at the Cirrus and Castle Manor pump station. To address these concerns, we have taken correction actions that include flushing and cleaning sewer lines along Bonita, Lurline, Citrus Streets. We also installed new pumps at Cirrus and Castle Manor pump stations and corrected a pump failure at the Castle Manor station. Smoke and dye testing is in progress. So we continue efforts at the Dwyer Canal. Current efforts. The third-party investigation involves smoke testing and dye testing of the sewer and storm drains. The smoke testing confirms that there are subsurface defects, and dye testing coupled with CCTV inspection is able to identify the specific location of defects in the sewer lines. We've completed dye testing and CCTV along Galahad Street, which identified 7 defects that Swibno crews will now repair. We'll be proceeding with the additional dye testing on other streets, which have been identified as having the most persistent and ongoing issues.
Randy, if I may, I would just like to note that the dye testing on Bonita Street is completed and all repairs on Galahad are complete as well. So we're next moving to the repairs on Lurline and Bonita.
Good. Also, it's important to acknowledge, and like I tried to hint earlier, there's a lot of work that our employees do day in, day out. They're very dedicated that you don't notice because maybe it's not on your street. But I call it the work of the work. And they're very dedicated to make sure that they're getting the job done. These numbers show that persistence. Work orders open versus closed. We had 11,000 or so open, close to 11,000 were closed. And then you see the array of the listing of the repair types that have been closed. At the last Public Works meeting, Councilmember Green and other council members said thank you to the workers for the hard work that they do and the dedication that they show. One phrase that I use over and over again is that we are all water professionals. I don't care if you have a GED or a PhD. We all have a role to play. And our employees, as Councilmember Green said, work in the high heat with a sense of dedication, not to leave until the job is done. And so I'm very proud to work with them, and it's one team. Okay, with that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Executive Director Heyman. And next up, we have discussion items. The first discussion item will actually have a presentation, ratings overview by PFM Financial Advisors, LLC, and CLB Porter, LLC. I think we have someone from both, or just CLB Porter?
My colleagues are on the line.
Oh, they're on the line? Perfect. Thank you. And so Sean Barney with CLB Porter, LLC, if you could introduce your colleague, and mic is yours.
Certainly. First of all, pleased to be here. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee and board. My name is Sean Barney. I'm managing member of CLB Porter, a municipal advisory and real estate development firm based here in New Orleans. For the record, I'm joined today remotely by my colleague Kevin Dowling, who works for our firm, and Ricardo Callender from our co-financial advisor from PFM. PFM and CLB Porter have a long-standing partnership here and in other communities around the country. And together we have advised the Board of Liquidation and handled Swebno's credits since 2010 and PFM prior to that. I'll jump in with the pleasure of the chair. We are here during a very critical window for the utility. Before we dive into the data, it's important to note that the board's finance team has been working hand in hand with us over the last month and a half to assess and challenge these rating metrics. We believe this is exactly the kind of engagement needed to drive the system forward. Our goal today is to take about 10 minutes to cut through the technical noise of our recent rating updates. We want to establish two clear realities. First, why these bond ratings matter to the board's operations. And second, the exact structural reasons behind S&P's recent rating adjustments. I suggest walking us through the presentation, getting comments or context from my colleagues. I was out of the country when part of the rating action took place, and so Kevin and Ricardo worked closely with the finance team and executive leadership team. And together we can take any questions. And of course, we're happy to follow up on anything time doesn't allow for. If we may go to slide number 4 and look at the current ratings. One back, there you go, okay. Let's address the recent rating actions directly. In March and April, S&P adjusted both the water and sewage revenue credits down to BBB+ with a negative outlook. Previously, water was at A- and sewer was at A. Now, why does this matter to the board? Think of a bond rating as a utility's financial credit score. A lower rating means that when we go to Wall Street to borrow money for our multi-billion-dollar infrastructure plans, it costs more in interest to borrow that money. However, it is vital to look at the broader horizon. Fitch simultaneously affirms Swebno at BBB+ with a stable outlook, evaluating the systems through a single consolidated standalone credit profile. Furthermore, Kroll maintains a strong A+ rating on the sewage parity debt. And so we're at a cross current, but we remain firmly within investment grade territory. If you go to slide 6 for me, please. Okay. To understand why S&P moved our rating, we have to look at their specific scorecard framework. S&P evaluates us on a strict 50-50 split, 50% enterprise risk and 50% financial risk. On the enterprise side, they look at the service area economy, current rate levels, and affordability, and an operational management assessment, how well the system is functioning. On the financial side, they measure debt service coverage, liquidity, and overall liabilities. The challenge is that S&P's scorecard places significant weight on forward-looking revenue predictability. If a utility hasn't implemented a rate adjustment in several years, the scorecard automatically models a squeeze on operating margins from inflation. If we move to slide 7. Let's look at S&P's explicit credit rationale. You have some of the quotes from rating agencies of the past. Rationale for the water system. While they acknowledge that low outstanding leverage remains a clear credit strength for Swebno, they determined that it was outweighed by operational vulnerabilities. I want to read a specific quote highlighted by Swebno staff directly from S&P's draft report. Quote, while low outstanding leverage remains a relative credit strength, it is outweighed by the system-wide fragility characterized by accelerating distribution system failure rates and operational reliability concerns. Also, constrained revenue-raising flexibility and dependence on uncertain external funding sources. S&P's core concern here is what they call a patchwork repair model, driven by expense minimization. Because water base rates have remained unchanged since 2020, S&P is expressing concern that flat customer growth and rising costs will permanently compress operational margins over the medium to long term. If you go to slide 8, please. Building on that rationale, it is critical for the board to understand how S&P conducted the forward-looking financial shock analysis that triggered the negative outlook. S&P ran a severe stress scenario that took our base revenue, held it completely flat through 2029, and layered on a 3% annual operating expense inflation alongside our rising debt service. Under that artificial flat revenue shock, they projected our debt service coverage would slide to 1.2 times coverage by fiscal 2027 and below 1 times coverage by 2028. This is exactly why they attach the negative outlook. It represents an explicit warning that if we do not show progress on infrastructure reliability and revenue generation over the next 12 to 24 months, a further downgrade could follow. Of course, the highest tier of coverage S&P considers is 1.6 times coverage or above, and those entities are rated AAA. If we go to slide 12. Thank you. Now that we know the why, let's focus on the strategic steps the board has already taken to control and rewrite this narrative. Infrastructure milestones. We must actively showcase our structural improvements, the 2025 completion of the smart metering program, and the commissioning of the new power complex cut against S&P's fragility argument by improving billing accuracy and providing independent power resilience. However, the leaks and levels of non-revenue water remain a concern. Rate management. While the board is rightly protective of the community's affordability limitations, S&P's scorecard looks for long-term rate-setting flexibility. The planned 2020 rate study adjustments are a signal that they would view positively. Governance insulation. We're explicitly demonstrating to the analysts that SWEPNO has robust protection separating the utility, divisional assets, and capital planning from uncertainty of the city's general fund performance. And then as a team, we have already begun, the staff, submitting updated, stronger, unaudited 2025 financial inputs to S&P to challenge their flat revenue modeling. With that, I'll kick it to Ricardo, Kevin, see if you have any comments before we take any questions if the board has any. Ricardo, you have anything first?
Sure. There is one more slide, I believe. So if you could also flip to the next slide. Oh, I'm a slide off that. I think hopefully everyone can hear me, and good morning to everyone, board and staff. Ricardo Callender here with PFM Financial Advisors. As Sean said, we've worked hand in hand with CLB Porter and staff to communicate and have these discussions with the rating agencies. Taking a step back though from the commentary that was provided here, it is important to note the landscape of the water and sewer sector throughout the country. Each year, the rating analysts, the rating agencies put together a rating outlook document that they distribute to signal to the U.S. water and sewer sector where they see things, where they see challenges, where they see the pockets of opportunities. While both Fitch and S&P's rating outlook for 2026 both showed either a neutral or a mixed review, I will note that the areas where they saw the weaknesses in the sector as a whole are actually the areas where Sewage and Water Board is challenged. One being the economy, the overall economy of the U.S., which leads to capital cost rising. It also leads to rate setting challenges as well with regards to affordability. Both of those areas with the Sewage and Water Board's capital program and capital needs, and as well as the affordability challenges of the area, that's one of the reasons why when you look as a whole, if they're concerned, if S&P in particular is concerned about those things, and we all are, the fact that the Sewage and Water Board is further challenged by those things than the average water utility system is really what I think led to the ground downgrades. They did acknowledge that from a financial performance as of today and looking backwards historically, the Sewage and Water Board has performed tremendously well. Your coverage has been strong currently and historically. But as Sean mentioned, it's that future projection, right? It's where do we go from here? What does the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years look like? And when comparing the capital needs to the reality of or well, you could say whether they're accurate assumptions or not, but they were reasonable assumptions that they made in their financial projections. You can see where those financial metrics deteriorate rather quickly. The last comment I'll make is that the Sewage and Water Board and staff have been tremendously successful accessing low-cost capital funds through the state SRF programs. Those that pocket of money, one is can dry up in the short, quickly. But in addition to that, this constraint in your coverage and your constrains your capacity to access even the low-cost capital through the SRF program. So as S&P is looking at it or has been looking at it in this way, and they see this constraint in the capacity, they note that there will be a challenge. There could be a challenge for the Sewage and Water Board maintaining your current capital reinvestment into the system.
So with that, if there are any questions, Mr. Chair?
Any questions? Yeah.
Our current rate structure is not adjusted annually for the Consumer Price Index.
That's correct.
Okay, so I guess my main comment would be to, since we don't get to set our rates, to our designee and our city council person, when or if rates are revisited, that absolutely needs to be included, because I think that would fix a lot of what we're dealing with here on the credit rating side of things. It's not going to match what for what with inflation, but at least there'll be something towards that. That's all I have.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I think this is a proper time for me to note a quote that was in the S&P report. And I want to stress that we have a very talented team here working on the financial sides and trying to receive the funding that we need. And S&P states, and I quote, "While there have been recent changes in upper management, we anticipate these changes will not negatively impact credit, given the new executive director's successful track record in securing funding for aging infrastructures in similarly challenged metropolitan systems. We believe this experience will be instrumental in maintaining public confidence and continued support for the system's financial needs." The bottom line is that as a team, I think we have a strong team to move forward, to continue, as I often say, beat the drum in Washington and try to pursue the funds that we need at the state and federal level. So I just wanted to share that with the board.
I'll say, I think that's timely because we certainly brought you here to do what you did in Philly. We need the money. And so it feels like it's all hands on deck from all parties. Whatever rate increases look like, whatever fees come out of our work product, I think it all informs our future bond rating opportunity. So, yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
Are there any, and forgive me for not knowing this, are there any other utilities that are comparable to Sewage and Water Board that have this type of scoring that is impacted, us being a smaller metropolitan city with the flatter rates and things like that? Is there any other city that is getting the same type of comparison?
Sure. In fact, I asked Kevin just before coming over here when we were comparing notes about comparables of other systems. We can share that offhand. None come to mind. I don't know if Kevin or Ricardo any immediately do that have a similar rating and or size. We rate the city, we advise the city of Memphis. So I think we could provide that as a follow-up to you as well.
Thank you.
If I may add to that, really not necessarily to provide direct comps. We can certainly provide a list of comps that we believe are similar to Sewage and Water Boards. And I use the word similar very loosely, right?
Sure.
Sewage and Water Board is unique in a lot of ways, particularly when it comes to age and location along the Gulf Coast. So those two things really, well, and population as well, right? The population decline that we've seen over the last 10 years or so since Katrina, those three things really set us apart from most other comps. So while we will certainly provide and can follow up with a list of comps that we believe are close to the Sewage and Water Board, I don't know that there are many out there that have those three and some of the other unique qualities that the Sewage and Water Board has to navigate.
Yeah, I'd say rating comps, but the profile, as Ricardo is
Correct.
saying, is unique for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking of, because we do have something that's a little bit more unique, and I wanted to know if there was something that was similar to this with that type of rating. So, thank you.
Might I ask, for the board's benefit, I know that some folks have seen, and we may have had as an information item, the S&P report, but I don't know if we've seen all the reports. Is that something that we could, for the board's benefit,
course.
forward to us? Yeah.
Certainly great
Ray, you
asset,
got-
but we can do that.
Yeah, we do. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you, team.
Thank you for
Appreciate
the
it.
opportunity.
All right, thank you. All right, our next discussion item, executive succession planning. Mr. Heyman, back to you, our executive director.
Okay, as shared by Director Scruggs in the minutes for the governance meeting, we are tasked, the legal department, the general superintendent, and myself to develop an executive succession plan. And we need to go back, we have done the preliminary work, but we need to go back and make sure that it has a playbook and has more information dealing with transition planning and knowledge transfer. And so what we would propose is that we will come back to the governance committee at the next meeting and have that finalized, discuss it, take on any additional edits, and then present it to the full board at the June board meeting.
Sounds good, sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions, as this is a discussion item? No? All right, thank you very much. We're going to come right back to you, Mr. Heyman. Now we have our first action item, and it's going to be the adoption of executive key performance indicators, or KPIs. Mr. Heyman, please proceed.
Okay. Each of us will go through our goals and KPIs. So my first goal, aggressively pursue funding for maintenance, repair, and replacement of the Swibno infrastructure, right in line with the discussion that we just completed with our financial advisors. I have to advance at least 3 priority infrastructure funding initiatives supporting maintenance, repair, resiliency, replacement priorities through coordination with the city, state, federal, and external funding partners, including quarterly reporting to the board regarding active pursuits, submissions, engagement activities, and funding advancement status. Also identify and advance external funding opportunities aligned with Swibno's strategic infrastructure and resiliency priorities, including development of recurring executive level funding pursuits and status reporting process. This whole exercise that we're going through is trying to have it that we're able to have tangible goals and be able to show the work and the progress that we're making. And that's going to be extremely important when we look at receiving the funding that we need, especially for the transmission main replacements. Goal number 2, advancing strategic initiatives and operational effectiveness. Complete or materially advance priority fiscal year 26 initiatives identified in the Water Distribution System Immediate Action Report, consistent with approved implementation schedules, operational constraints, and available funding. And as far as reporting cadence, I will report that on a quarterly basis. Provide quarterly implementation status reporting regarding priority strategic plan initiatives, including milestone completion, implementation barriers, operation impacts, and revised target timelines where applicable. Reduce vacancies within identified critical operational and leadership positions through targeted recruitment and workforce planning initiatives, including quarterly reporting regarding vacancy status, hiring activity, and operational gaps. Advanced implementation or identified priority IT modernization and cybersecurity initiatives, and provide periodic reporting regarding implementation status, operational impact, cybersecurity posture improvement, and organizational efficiency gains. Number 3, advance infrastructure and long-term resiliency planning. Develop and present for board consideration sustainable stormwater funding structure options, including operational, financial, and implementation considerations, supporting long-term and drainage infrastructure needs. Number 2, advanced development and prioritization of infrastructure renewal and resiliency planning initiatives addressing aging utilities, asset, and long-term operational risk, including development of wastewater and drainage master plans, and progress on existing functional master plans, including all plans that require progress during this evaluation season, Q2 '26 to Q1 '27. Enhance public engagement, transparency, and organizational communications. Number 1, implement recurring monthly public engagement activities and provide quarterly reporting regarding public outreach efforts intended to improve visibility into utility and priorities, infrastructure initiatives, operational challenges, and service improvement efforts. Develop and initiate implementation of organizational communications improvement framework addressing communication coordination, operational alignment, public information delivery, staffing and resource needs, and recurring public communication process with quarterly status updates to the board regarding implementation progress and identified operational needs. Number 3, develop and implement standardized operational communications protocol for major service disruptions, emergency events, and planned operational impacts, including defined coordination expectations between operations, communications, and executive leadership. Number 5, increase outreach to staff, conduct recurring operational site visits and workforce engagement activities intended to improve executive visibility, frontline communication, organizational awareness of operational workforce concerns. Number 2, implement recurring internal communications processes intended to improve employee awareness regarding organizational priorities, operational developments, and workforce issues and utility initiatives. Number 6, strengthen strategic water sector and federal engagement, maintain and leverage participation in national water industry leadership organizations to support strategic advocacy, policy engagement, external partnership development, operational benchmark, and infrastructure funding visibility opportunities relevant to SWMNO's priorities, including periodic reporting to the board regarding strategic engagement activities and identified opportunities. Here, I just want to stress that I am on the board for NACWA, National Association of Clean Water Agencies, and AMWA, Association of Metropolitan Water Agencies. I've met with the presidents of both organizations, and I'm pushing them that, one, we push for more money through the traditional routes, but that we also put on thinking caps and try to develop a new bucket of money that we can use. I'm pushing for this, and with the idea that if we're successful, let New Orleans be first in line to receive the benefit of that if we're able to move forward with that, with those efforts. Number 2, advance strategic federal engagement efforts intended to elevate SWMNO visibility regarding infrastructure resiliency, funding, water quality policy priorities, including participation in identified federal advocacy, policy, and funding engagement activities. Number 7, improve customer service responsiveness and customer experience. Implement recurring reporting regarding customer service performance indicators, including escalated issues, response to trends, recurring complaint categories, and identified operational service gaps. Improve coordination and accountability for escalated customer issues through implementation of standardized intake, tracking, interdepartmental response, and resolution visibility processes. Improve customer visibility regarding significant service issues, planned interruptions, work order status, and operational updates through enhanced coordinations between customer service, operations, and communications. Number 8, strengthen governance, transparency, and board visibility. Implement recurring executive reporting and coordination processes intended to improve board visibility into strategic initiatives, operational risk, infrastructure priorities, governance-related initiatives, funding activities, and organizational performances. And number 2, improve organizational support and coordination for board committee operations, governance communications, meeting processes, and compliance with public meeting requirements. And so, again, the goals tie into, again, the work of the organization, be it our need to receive the finance and for the board to have a viewpoint transparency into what we're doing, and for me to more or less develop these dashboards that I'll report and present information to the board on a regular basis. Thank you. And I'll hand it now to General Superintendent.
All right, excuse me, good morning, everyone. We'll start with the first goal, which is related to our vision, mission, and strategy, which is to improve system reliability by planning for the next large programs to continue strategic and effective infrastructure investment. This does overlap several with the executive directors as well in terms of advancing the next phase of the Water Quality Master Plan by completing procurement and contract award milestones for the Phase 1 design, maintaining alignment with procurement policies and requirements, as well as completing the 2026 water transmission mains immediate action plan activities within approved and available funding parameters. The next goal is related to organizational leadership, ensuring continuity of operations due to changes in technology and anticipated staff retirements by filling key positions. Number one is to fill an asset management leadership position with qualified personnel capable of developing an enterprise asset management governance and standards for operations departments, which would be in conjunction with the Chief Information Officer and IT department. Number two, to fill critical engineering vacancies with qualified personnel and implement workforce continuity planning measures for critical operations functions. And number three, in close coordination with the Chief Information Officer and IT department, expand on existing internal artificial intelligence users group to document current uses of AI and engineering maintenance and operation functions, and to formalize a forward-looking plan of potential applications in these departments to improve efficiency and cost reduction. Goal three is related to utility management, implementing best practices for water utility management, regulatory compliance, and public health. The first is to maintain or improve our state-issued water quality grades at the Carrollton Water Plant and Algiers Water Plant for the operational and treatment performance categories. And the second, to decrease our sanitary sewer overflows and other sewer release events by completing a trend analysis and initiating targeted measures related to operations, infrastructure repairs, and public education. On fiscal management, strengthening internal controls regarding overtime usage to ensure policy compliance, improve operational efficiency, and monitor cost. Number one is to deploy biometric time clocks within identified departments with high overtime use to improve accuracy of timekeeping and achieve 90% compliance with our internal overtime policies. Number two, evaluate department-level overtime trends to develop and initiate action plans to systematically reduce the average overtime hours per employee per week, specifically during non-emerging conditions, and while specifically maintaining our expected level of service and meeting regulatory requirements. And finally, yes, number five, constituent relations and public image. Strengthen internal and external coordination to improve customer trust and experiences with SWEPNO services, which will improve our quality of life for our residents. Number one, advance the current internal infrastructure escalation management process in conjunction with customer service and communications with clear roles and responsibilities. Number two, have dedicated staff respond to 85% of our escalated infrastructure issues within 48 hours with documented next steps and anticipated resolution timeframes. And number three, increase our transparency and improve knowledge of council members and their staff by establishing structured information exchanges to ensure our stakeholders have routine and meaningful updates on the utility's priorities, challenges, performance, and decision-making processes. All right, and I'm happy to advance your slides.
You was reading my mind. As opposed to passing it all the way around. Okay, goal number one is to improve public records response efficiency, compliance, workflow management while reducing organizational risk and backlog within 12 months. Number one would be to reduce average public records request lifecycle by 10%, reflective of the FY26 baseline. Number two would be to reduce backlog of public records requests older than 30 days by 15%. Number three, maintain a low rate of overdue or legally deficient responses attributed to legal process failures. Number four, conduct targeted departmental training and implement standardized intake and tracking procedures for public records requests. And number five would be to improve records processing capacity through overflow work operational overflow enhancement and targeted staff support. Goal number 2, improve stewardship of legal resources by strategically reducing reliance on outside counsel in controllable and routine legal matters within 12 months. Number 1, reduce outside counsel spending in controllable and non-specialized matters relative to FY26 baseline. Increase internal handling of routine legal matters, implement quarterly outside counsel spending and matter review process. Number 4, develop internal guidance and resources in high-volume legal subject areas currently driving external spend. And number 5, monitor outside counsel utilization trends and identify opportunities for operational efficiencies. Goal number 3, strengthen contract review efficiency, procurement, support compliance, and legal risk mitigation within 12 months. Number 1, reduce average legal review turnaround time for standard contract submissions, excluding delays outside legal control. Number 2, reduce incomplete or materially deficient contract request submissions from user departments by 10%. Number 3, develop standardized templates and guidance materials for commonly used agreements. Number 4, conduct contract process and risk management training for designated departments with targeted participation levels of 90 to 100%. Number 5, improve consistency and completeness of contract intake documentation and review workflow. Number 4, strengthen governance, protection, oversight, and stewardship of Swibno's intellectual property and trademarks within 12 months. Number 1, develop and implement a formal trademark governance and licensing framework, including standardized usage guidelines and approved processes. Number 2, conduct compliance reviews and establish centralized oversight and tracking of Swibno marks and related usage agreements. Number 3, reduce unauthorized or inconsistent use of board-owned intellectual property through clarity, governance, and enforcement processes. Number 4, provide internal guidance regarding trademark usage, licensing procedures, and brand protection requirements. Number 5, evaluate the long-term options for structural management of Swibno intellectual property. And number 6, provide internal guidance and training on proper use and licensing procedures. And finally, goal number 5, enhance legal operations, workflow consistency, reporting capabilities, and matter management efficiency within 12 months. Number 1, implement a standardized matter tracking and reporting processes. Number 2, develop legal operational dashboards for litigation, outside counsel utilization, and matter aging. Number 3, reduce life cycle time for routine legal matters within legal operational control. Number 4, standardize recurring legal templates and workflows to improve consistency and operational efficiency. And finally, number 5, improve internal reporting and visibility regarding legal operations, matter status, and workload trends.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. We have heard from our Executive Director, Interim GSO, or Interim Special Counsel on their KPIs. May I have a motion to adopt Executive Key Performance Indicators as presented?
I'll move.
Moved by Director Cole, seconded by Director Pacho. Any questions?
I can just make a couple comments. I just want to acknowledge our executives for the tremendous amount of work that it has taken, especially for our executives who haven't had to do this before, this process of identifying goals, going through strategic plans, harmonizing with each other, reducing them to KPIs, drafting, bringing it back to committee, having sessions to just figure out how do you draft KPIs, right, that are strong, and making sure they're responsive to what the community is asking for is a really important step for this team. And I know you did it amongst breaks and other emergencies and other pulls on your time and effort. So I just think we need to acknowledge their efforts on pulling this together.
Concur, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. Any additional questions, comments? No? All right. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Any public comment on KPIs?
No public comment, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any opposed, any abstentions? None. We've successfully adopted the executive KPIs. Thank you, everyone. And now we will go into the corresponding resolutions in Globo. Thank you. Thank you, because, all right, we have 15 here. May I have a motion to approve corresponding resolutions in Globo R067, 2026, R040, 2026, R042, 2026, R045, 2026, R046, 2026, R047, 2026, R033, 2026, R049, 2026, R050, 2026, R052, 2026, R056, 2026, R051, 2026, R053, 2026, R054, 2026, and R055, 2026. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve, but there's one that I'd like to see if we could defer or take out of the consent. I mean, the in Globo.
I don't think this ain't Globo.
You can move to have it,
You can
Move
it,
to
then
defer it.
second, and then in discussion, pull it out, yeah.
right,
Exactly.
you can.
That one is R040, 2026,
Which one is it?
the skilled and unskilled labor.
Point of order, are we moving the motion and then discussing it, or are we
Discuss it before-
dropping the motion?
Whatever I need to do to.
That's what I was gonna ask. So we could have a motion to pull it?
You're asking that it be deferred, right?
Well, if we could take it out of the in Globo.
And
then
deal
just
with it
Deal
separately.
with it separately, I guess.
Certainly, you could do that.
Can we do
Does that need unanimous?
We don't have a
No, he won't, he just needs to vote on it. If he's asking that it just be, separated from the in Globo vote.
Yes.
Right. And that is 40, which is it, 40?
040, 2026.
Okay, just that one?
That one.
He can make a motion for it.
Okay. Have it. So we have a motion to remove R040, 2026
From the in Globo
from the in
consideration.
Globo consideration.
So moved.
Moved
Well, he
by,
moved it already. I second.
moved by Director Cole, second by Director Thomas. Any questions about that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Okay, we're gonna vote on that one separate.
yes.
Okay.
And so we'll reread the 14.
The 13 now?
I don't believe you need to reread the 14.
Thank you. All right, all right.
Have a point that I would like to see, hopefully in the future. A lot of these are change orders and amendments and things like that, and sometimes we gloss over those, but they're to the same type of contractors. Is there a possibility that we can have, do some type of categorization of why there's the change order? If it's unforeseen site conditions, design errors, omissions, regulations, if there's a weather or something, because it's consistently some of the same contractors, and just some type of, like a blurb of a categorization in the future.
That's in the, that should be in the detailed report, right? At the committee level, right? So at the committee level, we get the details of what's going on. This is just a summation
Okay.
of what was taken at the committee level. At the committee level, and you can get these, right? It'll give you a detail, everything from the whys, the hows, basically answering all of those questions and more, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, just for those that
Yeah.
come and see, you know,
Yeah.
it is, so.
I'm following.
Yeah, it's a governance note, so I take it, and I think one of our governance workflows is to separate the committee meetings and the board meetings so that there's more time to review and digest the exact information that you're pointing to. So we're going to try to work on that.
Anyone else? All right. So first, let's take the 14.
Why don't we do the 14?
Yeah.
And then we could go back and do 40,
Yes.
2026.
Yeah.
Okay.
So may we have a motion to approve the 14 corresponding resolutions in Globo as read?
So moved.
Moved by Director Antrim, second by Director Cole. Any questions about these 14 remaining? None? All in favor? Aye. All right, any public comment?
There is a public comment.
Yes.
It is from Mr. Wade Joseph regarding, I'm sorry. It is a public comment from Maureen Joseph regarding Resolution 67, 2026. Ms. Joseph, you will have 3 minutes, ma'am.
Where's that?
67.
Request of the chair, there are 3 of us here with comments for that. The owner of JEI Solutions, Wade, is it possible that he goes first?
No, that's the,
I'm sorry that Chris goes first. Is there 3 of us to comment on that?
Mr. Chair, what was the resolution? I don't think that's per.
67.
67.
First one under the corresponding resolution.
And to your point, ma'am, there's going to be a separate vote on Resolution 40, 2026, and they will have an opportunity to comment at that time. Because I believe that your comment card said that you were commenting on Resolution 67, 2026.
Oh,
And their comment cards are referencing a different resolution.
I was trying to reference the one that you all removed out of your total consent. So did I put it incorrectly?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
We'll
We'll call you back.
Yeah,
Right,
when we say 040,
right.
that's, okay. No problem at all, no problem at all. All right,
So there's no public comment, Chair.
thank you. With no public comment, were there any abstentions or opposed?
I'm abstaining.
1 abstention.
You want eyes?
We had more ayes.
Do you want-
Yeah.
Do you want to say eyes?
Yeah.
Eyes first.
Oh, we did, I'm sorry.
Try that again. Run that back.
All right, all
Run that
right.
back.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any abstentions? 1, any opposed? All right, the 14 corresponding resolutions in Globo have carried. And now we will go to Resolution R040, 2026. May I have a motion to approve? No motion?
moved.
Moved by Director Antrim,
Second.
second by Director Stewart. Now, any questions?
Can we get an update on this particular one, please?
Yes, I think special counsel has.
Yeah, this is the resolution regarding the awarding contract of the unskilled and skilled labor to Abacus. As you recall, JEI had filed a petition in court in the district court requesting a restraining order. That was denied at the district court level. He then applied for a appeal, and in addition to the appeal, he requested a motion to stay the proceedings of this board to award this contract. That stay was denied at the district court. He applied for a stay at the appellate court, and that motion for the stay was also denied. So JEI has basically proceeded through the judicial system from the original hearing before the district court to a appeal before the Fourth Circuit Court, each time requesting a stay and each time having that stay denied. At this point in time, there is no impediment to the board going forward with the awarding of the contract.
Can we have a discussion as to the grounds for their file, what they filed? I guess their appeal or their request for a restraining order?
It's my appreciation that they were challenging the bid process. And let's be crystal clear, what is going on here from a legal standpoint is that JEI has challenged that process. In challenging that process, he has requested a motion to stay the proceedings or stay this board's actions. Now, he still has a cause of action. His case is not over. He just can't stay this board going forward. So if he was to prevail, if in fact he went to court and had a trial on the merits, and the judge was to decide that, in fact, he should have been awarded that contract, then he would certainly be entitled to damages. But as it stands now, he has no legal, there is no legal impediment, should I say, to the board going forward with the award. Now, and JEI, as I said before, certainly has a right to his day in court and will certainly get that. And if it's decided that the award should have gone his way, he will certainly be entitled to damages.
And I just have a question on, I mean, I know it's there, the scope, the work that we're awarding and the impact, the utility. Can we just hear just a quick summary, recap on that, please?
Yeah, so the contract that we maintain for skilled and unskilled labor, which is currently held by JEI, provides labor to our facility maintenance department. This provides a number of staff that are really embedded in our facilities who perform work such as electrical, mechanical, welding, as well as general plant maintenance.
Okay.
And can we get some level of analysis about the impact of if we did not approve this resolution, what would happen with those folks that are doing that work today?
Sure. I think my appreciation is we would continue with the current contract, and we would have to come to this board and continue to amend that until such time that a new contract was in place.
So we put out a bid for a new contract because the old one had expired?
Correct.
And had run through its total compensation scope?
Correct.
Yeah, I think,
And so we would be on an amended month-to-month or whatever until resolved.
Correct.
Until another contract is awarded. And as I've said before, at this stage that, you know, JEI doesn't lose any right to challenge it in court, but it would be challenged on the merits. What is being asked now is to stay the actions of this board, and that has been denied twice.
right.
So it's my appreciation that there's some informalities both on the part of JEI and potentially Abacus and a few other bidders as far as not filling out the forms exactly correctly or omitting this or whatever. Is there any, would anybody have any recourse against us if we just decided to, it's an RFP, rebid the whole thing?
It could be a possibility that Abacus could.
And so that informs what I was going to ask. It feels like we would benefit from counsel on what our risk profile is, acting as well as not acting. And so
Well, there is no impediment to us acting. It's clear there is no impediment.
Right.
I think you just look for pros and cons from a risk management standpoint of rebidding, awarding, and then I'm sure JEI would want to have their day in court at that point and potentially prevail. What, I guess, what our exposure is.
But I
in
think
making whichever decision we decide to go with.
I thought I just heard that there's still a possibility that there would be a recovery if
For
they
JEI.
correct.
That is correct.
And so that's what I'm saying. I would like to speak to counsel about all of those scenarios. And that sounds like executive session.
Certainly does.
And so is that something that we could do in the moment with unanimous board participation to amend the agenda, or would we have to?
I'd rather see us defer it and do that
Defer it.
one time. Yes,
Yeah.
if I can make a substitute motion to defer this item so that we can all be better informed as to what we're
So-
voting on.
I will hear that.
I agree. I think I'm friendly to that, but we're in discussion of a motion on the floor, so we should close that motion.
Yeah.
And I think there's public comment. And I think there's probably public comment attached to it. And then we can figure out a different action if that's the pleasure of the board.
So where we left off, there was a motion to approve R040-2026. There was a second, and we were in questions. At this time, I'd like to ask, all in favor?
Should we not
Or the,
Public
receive
comment.
the
Public
comment?
comment
Public
first
comments.
before we vote.
that's not the order
Typically, we
of the.
vote, and then we have the
Yeah,
public comment.
Can we hear from the public before vote, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and also just a point of order, I think, as the person who made the motion, I can withdraw my motion, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's before the body, so it's not.
So at this time, public comment, special counsel?
Okay,
Just for R040?
correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Wade Joseph? And sir, you just,
I'd like to have Chris speak before I go up and speak as it relates to this resolution.
Mr. Ralston?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he has a public comment card as well. So you would like Mr. Ralston proceed?
Correct. If it's okay with the chair, I think it may streamline because we won't need to duplicate, we won't need to repeat each other.
That sounds fine.
With your permission,
That's fine.
and I will be brief.
Thank you.
I appreciate the chair and director and committee members' attention. I will be brief. We really wanted to ask that you just defer today. And that's what we did ask the court to do, to hold off so there could be a look, just a clean, open, honest look at this. We did not have the benefit of the documents that we received Friday that we had asked for, that were backdated for some reason and showed in fact that the information that should have been provided in the two bids, the competing bids, but was not provided, which I think is material information, DBE information, pricing information, contact information. I think material information was not provided with those proposals, which were allowed to go forward. Yet JEI's bid, a local company that's been doing the work for 5.5 years, was not considered because a cover page was not included in this bid, wasn't included in the last bid, which was accepted. The contact information is right there on the front page. They know how to contact JEI because they're doing the work, and they've been doing the work without complaint, without problem, without issue. And so I'm not asking anybody to reverse anything today, just asking that you take a look as why there's two different standards applied. We're not asking for preferential treatment as the local business. We're just asking for fair treatment, that the same standard be applied to JEI as was applied to the out-of-state companies. That's what we're asking. And I'd ask that we just defer so that you, who have the responsibility to the organization, understand what was done and what was not done. And that was that simply. We asked the court that. Again, we didn't have, neither did the court, who didn't take a swing at us, just didn't have that information because we weren't provided until, again, Friday after the proceedings. So I'll leave it at that and say we just ask that the same standard be applied. That's what we would want to have happen here, and I appreciate your attention.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Wade Joseph?
Good morning to the board members and staff. I would iterate some of the things that Chris said I had written down to say myself, and I'll just go ahead and read it so that everyone understands what my position is as the encumbered contractor currently serving the Sewage and Water Board skilled and unskilled labor contract. Sewage and Water Board's operation are continuing without interruption under the current contract, and there is no urgency requirements requiring the board to rush a vote today. I respectfully ask the board to stay or defer any vote of the award of contract, RFP, I should say, 2025-18 for skilled and unskilled labor to Abacus until the procurement process is reviewed clearly and consistently. JEI proposal was rejected because an omission of the cover sheet, which merely administrative document and the requested information was already included elsewhere within JEI's proposal. The omission did not affect price, scope, qualification, responsiveness, experience, or JEI's ability to perform the work. The omission also provided JEI with no unfair advantages over any other proposers, though Sewage and Water Board public record requests,
That I now have the information to show that Abacus' proposal also has omissions that were required by the RFP document and required proposal items. Despite those omissions, Abacus' proposal was still accepted, evaluated, and is now being recommended for an award. The issue is simple. How can one proposal be excluded for missing an administrative item while another proposal is evaluated despite missing a quantitative required item, including required dollar values? All proposals should receive equal treatment and be treated fairly, consistently throughout this procurement process. Before the board vote, I respectfully ask that Sewage and Water Board review the public records and confirm the missing items from both proposals. I am not asking for special treatment. I'm just asking for equal treatment. I respectfully ask that Joseph Electric, a JEI Solution rather, proposal be evaluated before the board render any final decisions. A vote today without reviewing these facts will create a serious concern regarding fairness, transparency, consistency within this procurement process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We have one more. Ms. Maureen Joseph.
Thank you for the switch for me. Because the other two parties that have already spoken have clearly outlined the position, I just want to close with indicating that this body has the ability to make sure and ensure for the public's interest that the discretion that was used is equal, because discretion has already been used, that a document has to have something or is non-responsive. We can see that if you look through all of the documents consistently, that there was something left out everywhere. So if one is to be discarded, they all should be discarded. So in closing, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for your patience in this process. And so we are looking forward to hoping that this is deferred. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other public comment for R040 2026?
No other public comment, Chair.
Thank you very much. Now I will open for motion of any sort, since I've heard a few.
So,
Sure.
The motion on the floor is to approve, correct?
That's what's my question.
Yeah, I merely made that motion so that we could have the discussion, really. So if I may ask a question for the purposes of discussion, was there a bid protest filed internally through this?
Yes.
It went to a hearing?
Yes.
And was given a final decision by the executive director?
Yes.
Are we able to receive that report between now and the next meeting?
Sure.
Okay. I think that would be helpful as well.
a few questions, Mr. Chairman. I guess for the general superintendent, when was the actual end date of the contract, the original contract? And how long?
Be happy to look that up.
All right, and then how long
That's
has it?
probably contained in the report I was
Okay.
referencing.
Yeah.
And how many times has it been amended thus far?
We have recently done an amendment in the last couple of months, so I will pull that up as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments?
So I guess as a point of order, do we have to vote on the motion that I made?
Yes.
And if it fails, we can make another motion?
We're ready.
So my understanding, special counsel, you confirm, is that the body owns the motion at this point. The motion can be withdrawn, but the body would have to agree to discard it or withdraw it, which would come through the chair making that question open for the body to respond to, or we can act on the motion.
All right. So there was a motion.
I would be happy to withdraw my motion.
I don't believe you can withdraw the motion. You would have to.
So
Yes.
I think it'd be
Yeah, you'd
easier
have
if
to
you let
close
him.
it.
Yeah, right.
I could withdraw my second.
So you did second. I don't.
Yeah,
You have to
can?
you have to close it.
Okay.
You had to close the
have to vote,
motion.
Right.
So we should vote.
Right.
And so, all in favor? I hear none. Any abstentions?
Abstention.
Abstention. Any nays?
Nay.
Two nays, the rest abstentions. Motion fails. Are there any other motions related to R 040-2026?
To make a substitute motion or whatever kind of motion.
Just a new
to
motion.
defer-
It's a new motion, yeah.
The motion.
To defer into our next meeting.
I've got a motion of deference of R 040-2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Director Thomas.
For discussion purposes, I asked the director kind to, what information would you like to see for the deferral, or what's the expectations of the deferral? Just so that we have it on the record.
One, I'd like to see what Director Anthrop had requested, the formal decision from the bid appeal process.
Go ahead.
I'd like to see bid tabulations as well, to see what cost implications there are, so that we're making the right fiduciary decision for the board.
And then an executive session.
Yes.
A risk analysis from our general
Yes.
special counsel.
Exactly.
All right. Noted. Anything else that we're looking for?
I think they've covered it.
All right. So we have a motion to defer. Did we get a second on the record?
I'll second. Yeah, I'll second.
I lost you. Second by Director Thomas. And so all in favor of deferring R 040-2026?
The next board meeting. Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nays? Any other comments about that? All right. Seeing none, we have successfully deferred R 040-2026. Thank you very much. With that being said, that rounds up the 15 corresponding resolutions, and now we are ready for executive session. May I have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Moved by Director Scruggs. Somewhere. Second by Director Pacho. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions, any nays? Thank you. We're now in executive session.
Thank you.
Send it over, but while I was in the meeting, they said
to. Yeah. Thank you. May we have a motion to exit executive session? Moved by Director Cole,
Second.
second by Director Antrim. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. We are now in regular session. May we have a motion to approve special counsel recommendation in regards to WL Wyman Construction Company Incorporated versus Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans? Moved by Director Scruggs. Second by Director Pacho. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any abstentions, any nays? All right, we are accepting special counsel's recommendation. May I have a motion to approve special counsel's recommendation for Sewell versus Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans? Moved by Director Cole. Second. Second by Director Stewart. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. We're accepting special counsel's recommendation. And next, Director Scruggs.
Yes, so the governance committee made two recommendations to the board. One with regarding the appointment of our interim general superintendent to general superintendent, and the other to approval of a compensation and employment framework that's pertaining thereto. And so those recommendations are put before the body, so they are considered moved and they do not require a second. I would also add that the compensation named would move forward with the existing compensation framework, and that any monies, adjustments, et cetera, that our interim general superintendent is eligible for would be applied to her compensation appropriately. And then with regard to the second recommendation, that KPI linked evaluation adjustment be 0% at the does not meet expectations, 1.5% at the meets expectations, and 3% at the exceeds expectations level.
Thank you. We can go right to a vote.
On the appointment?
Sure.
Is that the motion?
Yep, it's a motion. That's both of them, both recommendations, but we can take one at a time, sorry.
It's okay. May we have a motion for the appointment of Caitlin Timmerick as General Superintendent for Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans?
So
So moved.
Moved by Director Antrim first?
Second.
Second by Director Cole. All in favor? Aye. Any abstentions, any nays? Thank you, Caitlin. Welcome to your official
you all.
title. Congratulations. Thank you. And next, may we have a motion to approve? Yes.
Yes, so the committee's recommendation to the board, having been adopted by the committee, now stands as an active motion before the body, so we don't need a separate motion.
Right. Great. Do we need a vote on it?
You do need a vote on it, though.
But there's no second needed.
There's no second needed.
Right? All in favor? Aye. Any nays, any abstentions? All right. Congratulations again, Caitlin. Being no further action items, we have 7 information.
Can I have just one moment?
Yeah,
We have Director Pacho, I believe it's the event of his last board meeting with us.
I think so.
And I learned today it's also his birthday.
Aww,
Everyone
happy
can join me in saying
birthday.
happy birthday and thank you for your service.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Thanks again, Mr. Jeff. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's great. Today got better. All right. And so being no further action items, we have 7 information items, and we're now ready for public comment.
Chair, we have public comment. Mr. Sage Michael Pele. Sage?
Yeah.
You have 3 minutes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Board, everyone. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak. I have a lot to say, but I have 3 minutes. Caitlin, congratulations on your position. Thank you for engaging us and the Executive Director directly at my organization's office with stakeholders. I must say that while I'm thankful, we have far room to go. The Dwight Canal discharge is a litmus test for this department. Right now, I'm on vacation, but I cannot because nothing matters to me but sewage discharge in my backyard. Nothing. I've seen a lot happen. Thank you for our District E board member for engaging with us as well. Thank you for that. And I did comment here at the Finance Administrative meeting last year, I believe. I've been fighting this solo since December 11, 2025. Now, no time is acceptable for sewage in my backyard. And the release of hydrogen sulfide into our air by this agency is egregious, with no accountability. I'm here transparent showing my skin conditions to let you all know that I have a perfect bill of health, but the pollution in my environment is killing me. So nothing matters. I'm a hard advocate for Lincoln Beach. I'm a hard advocate for dumping our community. I'm here for our community. My community calls on me. I'm doing someone's job and I'm not getting paid for it. Without me advocating for the discharge in Dwyer, this wouldn't be an issue. Wouldn't be an issue. And it exists. And no day should exist. And it's been existing since December 2025. And I live with that. I've been on New York Times, USA Today, ABC World News. I'm on the front page of newspapers here and far. None of that matters if you all allow sewage in my backyard. Okay? I'm at a point that I'm tired. As long as God get me up, I'm gonna keep fighting it. Because none of y'all live with that but me and my community. It made no sense for me to be 52 years old, come up through the projects, public schools, go to McMain, some of my classmates are here, to work so hard and fight for my community on so many things and be proud, but to go home with sewage in my backyard. Federal Violation Act of the Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act. Y'all hand out a lot of contracts and people getting paid, but what about the workers for the work? When those people who's in those sewer pits, when the last time they got a raise? I mean, we are giving out high raises to these executives, but those people who are in those pits connecting those sewage lines, did they fire a lot of them when they came in? Or are they giving those people a raise? And people like me, I've been doing this for my own, constantly. I'm doing someone's job. It's not fair to me, but life's not fair. But as long as I keep getting up, I'm going to be bringing it to you all. Respectfully to this board, as much as possible, and I thank you all for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have another public comment.
I think we have one more coming up.
Jenny Morris.
My name is Jennifer Morris. I am a resident of New Orleans, have been for 60 years. And the reason I'm speaking to you today is because of something that happened with me with Sewage and Water Board. First of all, I went on your website yesterday, just so you all know you have the wrong address. You say that this meeting is on Claiborne. I got there, and they were like, we're so sorry to let you all know it was incorrect. On January 30th, I bought a milestone birthday present for myself, a beautiful 4 Series BMW Coupe. So excited. Then on February 24th, my car was sideswiped by a Sewage and Water Board truck. The driver jumped out and said, damn, I didn't even see you. The police were called. It was never a doubt who was at fault. I filled out all of the paperwork that I needed. I got all of the estimates. I did everything. I spoke to Nancy with claims. I got everything to the claims department within a week. And I have been dealing with Kevin Pierre with FW Insurance, who's the claims contact. I went to a community meeting where I met Mr. Heyman and Ms. Labatt, begging and pleading for someone, please, to help me get my car fixed. They assured me, Ms. Labatt said she did call me back and said that I was on the agenda for this month. Mr. Pierre said that we don't know what happened. You were supposed to be on the agenda for last month, but you just weren't. But I've been assured you're going to be on the agenda for this month. He's called me this morning. Somehow he found out I'm at this meeting so that I can call him when the meeting is over so that he will know how to proceed. I am beyond frustrated. I am sad. I am aggravated. I woke up this morning, got dressed, took the day off. I'm a high school counselor. We're in the middle of report cards, so I'm missing an important day. I got up, and as I walked to my car, where the car was swiped, it has begun to rust. I just want my car fixed. I am tired of being shuffled from person to person. We're going to get you on the agenda. You're on the agenda. We don't know why you're on the agenda. I have spoken to people at Councilperson Harris's office, Councilperson Willard's office. I don't know what else to do. And I am pleading with you all to help me get what is owed to me. I just want my car fixed. That's all that I want. And I know somebody here can help me. I had to take off work to come here today. My bosses are emailing me, and I'm telling them, I have to take care of this. I'll be there as soon as I can. You all have the power to do something. I know you do. And I need somebody to help me today before I leave. And please don't tell me we'll be in touch with you. You're on the agenda. I just need some help. I need to be able to get my car fixed that I have not been able to enjoy because it's wrecked and now it's rusting. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
I apologize for the inconvenience you had. I do remember talking with you, and it was my understanding that things were moving forward with yours. Now, tell me this, though. To the degree that you've talked to other people, the gentleman, is he waiting? Is there any additional documentation that you need to submit? Or how is he explaining to you why it's not going forward?
He's not. He's said that I'm on the agenda. And then once he gets the okay, they will send me documents to sign and cut the check. That's it. There's no documentation that's missing.
Okay.
He apologized because I was supposed to be on the agenda for last month and somehow I wasn't. He had no explanation as to why.
Do this. Sierra, please take her phone number.
I have her number.
Okay, and then we need to make sure that we call and talk to them to see what's going on and to push it forward.
Have Dave come up, and Dave is here. Dave, would you, and claim, Dave, this is Ms. Morris.
Yes, I'm.
With the claims.
FW is our claims adjuster by contract. That's who contacted Ms. Morris, has contacted her before. The hearing that is pending right now is scheduled for next Tuesday. It's an accident review board. It's been scheduled for, it was postponed from last month to this month, but it is scheduled for next Tuesday. Once that accident review board is complete, FW will have everything they need to proceed with the action on the claim. But that FW handles all of our fleet claims, and that is who she's talked to. So action is ongoing right now. We expect movement next Tuesday, and FW will have what they need. I'm not sure why FW answered you the way they did today. That's not appropriate. They should have answered you that they were moving ahead on it when they have the information next Tuesday. So that's where we're at on it, and we'll. I know we've contacted you, and you've been in contact with us. So I will continue that and make sure you are spoken to very quickly after next Tuesday's hearing, so that you can understand where we're moving next. But we will ensure that happens. And
Can I ask you what happened at the hearing?
the Accident Review Board is a process we have to follow here because obviously we have public monies and it's a process that looks at the accident itself and all the details and then determines fault within our organization. So yeah, it has to happen.
Is there a chance that it will not be approved or something?
I have to
We
wait.
don't know.
So,
That's the way it goes.
I mean, that's part of the process, to look at the facts of the accident and, we'll make a determination next Tuesday. And I'd be happy to talk to you afterwards too.
Any other public comment?
All right. All right. Any additional public comment?
No public comments, Chair.
All right. Being no further business before this board, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by
Second.
Mr. Nelson, Director Nelson, second by Director Scruggs. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.